Staff then puts his name into an on-site 3D character printer, which spits out an employee ID for Daydream Corporation, Field Exploration Team, basically the Death Squad faction from the wiki, famous for sending people into anomalies and getting them killed. He cringes, pockets it, tries to leave. Then the staff gives him a very wrong smile, one that stretches too wide, and everything goes black. Sol-eum wakes up in a corporate orientation hall, dressed in a suit, holding his merch box, surrounded by actual new hires who think they just landed a job at a pharmaceutical company. Except Sol-eum immediately recognizes the setup. This is Daydream Corporation's infamous death orientation, straight out of the wiki. They trap recruits and run lethal survival trials to kill the weak. Before he can escape, the doors seal. The room transforms into a horror subway car. Abyssal Transit Corporation, one of the deadliest anomalies in the lore. A polite transit announcement tells passengers to exit at each station, or else. First stop, Sorrow Station. Sol-eum warns people not to get off. No such place exists in Korea. Obvious trap. Some listen. Some don't. The ones who exit get liquefied by silver rain on the platform. Their remains smear the windows. Screaming. Chaos. Sol-eum's one advantage? He's read every single wiki entry. He knows this world inside out. His one fatal flaw? He is absolutely, bone-deep terrified of horror. He read it all in text form at work specifically because he couldn't handle images or sound. And now he's inside it. The train is still moving. The announcements are still playing. And Kim Sol-eum, our world-class coward who somehow knows everything about this horror universe, is sitting in a ghost story subway with his face buried in his hands, already begging the universe to just end him. He survived Chapter 1. Barely. Mostly by shouting at strangers not to get off at the wrong station while his legs turned to jelly. 2 new hires got liquefied in front of him anyway. And now, here he is. Still alive. Still terrified. And absolutely not okay. But then, something strange floats into his vision. A folded piece of paper. Fluttering. Like a torn notepad page drifting in midair. Nobody else can see it. Sol-eum keeps his mouth shut. Drawing attention in a ghost story subway is the last thing he wants, and carefully presses it down with his hand. The paper unfolds on its own and spits out a tiny object. A pop socket. Black. Simple. A golden X in the center. And Sol-eum's eyes go wide, because he knows exactly what this is. It's one of the merch items from the Darkness Exploration Records pop-up store, the one he visited just before getting sucked into this nightmare. The grand prize goods box that was sitting on his lap during orientation? Gone. But somehow, the merch inside it is manifesting here, piece by piece, in the form of usable items. With trembling hands, he peels off the adhesive backing and slaps it onto his phone. The moment he does, his phone screen lights up, and every scattered memory he has of the Darkness Exploration Records wiki assembles itself into clear, readable pages right in front of him. The Memorial Pop Socket. A C-Class item. When attached to a smartphone, it displays the user's memories as organized text. Sol-eum could cry. He's inside one of the most notorious ghost stories in the entire wiki. Welcome to Abyss Transpo, a D-Class darkness, with a catastrophically low escape rate across 56 recorded expeditions. But now, he has his entire knowledge base accessible at his fingertips. He immediately scrolls to the escape records. He reads fast. And he finds what he's looking for. He knows which station to get off at. The problem? He can't do it alone. And this is where Sol-eum's true weakness reveals itself. And it's not the fear. Well, it is the fear. But it's more specific than that. The stations in this ghost story aren't just deadly. They're visually horrifying. One is filled wall to wall with eyeballs. One is shrouded in total darkness. One is physically upside down. Sol-eum runs the numbers in his head and concludes, with complete seriousness, that his chances of passing out from pure terror before reaching safety are over 90%. He needs people. Not because he's noble. Not because he suddenly cares about saving lives. He needs human shields against his own cowardice. So he starts working the room. 8 new hires total in this car, including himself. They're shaken, scattered, starting to splinter into panicked little groups. Sol-eum spots his opening. A calm, short-haired woman who mutters that this whole situation feels like a YouTube ghost story. He latches on immediately, drawing her into conversation, building rapport. Her name is Go Yeon-joon. Sol-eum doesn't recognize it. In the wiki, unnamed characters either survived quietly or died fast. He files that unsettling thought away and keeps smiling. Then someone else approaches. A curly-haired guy with an innocent face, who was sitting next to Sol-eum back in the lecture hall. He introduces himself with a handshake. Baek Sahyun. Sol-eum nearly forgets to shake his hand, because Baek Sahyun is not a nobody. In the Darkness Exploration Records wiki, Baek Sahyun is a legend. A Daydream Incorporated employee who went on over 100 expeditions, eventually rose to section chief, and earned the nickname Viper. He's one of the most documented characters in the entire fandom. And he's standing here looking like a nervous college graduate at his first job orientation. Sol-eum stares. Internally loses it a little. Then composes himself. The 3 of them, Sol-eum, Go Yeon-joon, and Baek Sahyun, form a quiet alliance as the tension in the subway car keeps climbing. The passengers in the front car are visibly falling apart, fighting amongst themselves, unable to communicate across the cars. Then the next station announcement hits. Euphoria Station. The name ripples through the car like electricity. People perk up. Euphoria sounds good. Euphoria sounds safe. The platform through the windows looks clean, bright, brand new. Nothing like the damp horror of Resentment Station. People start drifting toward the doors. Sol-eum grits his teeth. He knows the truth. In Abyss Transpo, station names mean nothing. There is no pattern between a pleasant-sounding name and a safe platform. Across 56 recorded expeditions, the data is clear. Positive names are not survival clues. But try explaining that to people who just watched their colleagues get dissolved. The doors open. The crowd surges. And Sol-eum, terrified, shaking, absolutely not built for heroics, runs to the doors and physically blocks them. What follows is the most absurd argument in recent manhwa history. Sol-eum, a man who gets scared by horror video thumbnails, stands in an open subway door on a ghost story train and calmly dismantles every panicked argument the crowd throws at him. When someone screams that he has no proof, he points at the overhead speaker and reminds everyone that the very first announcement told them to listen carefully. When someone demands he take responsibility, he says yes. Flat out. Yes. Nobody expected that answer. It stops the crowd cold. The doors close. Euphoria Station slides away behind them. Then the front car passengers, who didn't hear the argument, who didn't stay seated, start running for the Euphoria platform exit. And the platform floor begins to melt gold. Their lower bodies fuse to the ground mid-sprint. They struggle. They slow. They stop. And then they don't move at all. Their bodies hardening into shining, gleaming gold statues at the base of the stairs, the easiest way to experience happiness, according to whatever twisted logic governs this world. Inside the car, someone breaks down crying. Someone else grabs Sol-eum and demands he guarantee their survival. He says yes again. His legs are shaking so badly he thinks he might fall. The image of the gold statues keeps replaying in his mind in horrible low-resolution detail. And through all of this, Baek Sahyun looks at him with genuine admiration and calls him teacher. Sol-eum nearly laughs out loud. Teacher. He's a corporate drone who reads creepypasta at his desk to avoid doing